is called Expressions Matter. The task is given three integers, a, b, and c. Return the largest number obtained after inserting the following operators in brackets, which I call parentheses, plus multiplication or the parentheses. And remember, we learned about order of operations earlier, where you can use parentheses to sort of override that. You could make for example, an addition happen before a multiplication. It says, in other words, try every combination of a, b, and c with plus, and they didn't put the multiply sign in here. In general, this isn't worded very well, but we'll keep running. And return the maximum obtained. Not sure what all the underscore asterisks are, but okay. Consider an example where the numbers are 1, 2, and 3. Here are some ways of placing signs and parentheses. And notice how in this case they chose to use only the multiplication operator. So you have that going on where you could do straight addition, straight multiplication, or some mixture of the two where you can use parentheses to change the order, like down here, right? Instead of multiplying the 2 by the 3 right away, which would happen without the parentheses, it's going to do this addition first, then multiply by 3. And so they're saying here that the maximum value you can obtain is 9. This clearly isn't every combination, but yeah. Notes, the numbers are always positive. These are useful here. The numbers are in the range 1 is less than or equal to a, b, and c, which is less than or equal to 10. So the parameters that come in will be between the values of 1 and 10, inclusive. You can use the same operation more than once. We saw that. It's not necessary to place all the signs and brackets. Repetition in numbers may occur. Not sure what they mean by that. You can't, you know what I mean? You can't use BBC and not ABC. So I'm not sure what they're trying to say with that one. You cannot swap the operands. For instance, in the given example, you cannot get the expression. Notice how here they have 1, 3, 2 instead of 1, 2, 3. You always have to use the order that was passed in, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that was the example. And so they, again, are saying that if you run this one, you get 9 as the highest output. Explanation after placing signs in brackets, the maximum value obtained from the expression. Yeah, 1 plus 2. Notice multiplying doesn't help you because anything times 1 is itself. So it's better to add the numbers here than to multiply them. And that's how you get the largest result. With all ones, your best bet is to straight up add all of them. Again, multiplying by 1 doesn't increase, it's just the same value. Sort of the identity function, if you will. 1 plus 1 plus 1 equals 3. And so yeah, some more examples. But yeah, basically, if I can describe it in a nutshell, think of the best way to combine the numbers in the order that you receive them using adds or multiplies. And the order can be modified with parentheses or not. In some cases, it may not even be necessary because order of operations does it. So yeah, I know it's a little bit wordy in the description and not the best description, but go ahead and pause the video. You can check out the test cases first if you want to try and get an idea of what they're going for if it still isn't clear. I would say implement what you think is the situation, test it, and you're going to get feedback if you did it wrong. That's what happened to me. I didn't fully understand the directions the first time I did it, and I went to test, and it was, you know, a lot of the test cases passed, but there were some that were just slightly off. And then finally I read through it again in some comments and noticed I had been allowing the parameters to be processed in a different order than they were passed in. So that's why I got the bad result. Worked out. I ended up really simplifying my solution. So go ahead and give it your best shot, and feel free to resume whenever you're ready. So for my solution, I made this helper method that combines two integer values, because that's essentially what we're doing. We've got three operands, right? And they have to be processed in order. They can't be mixed around. So in any given problem, then I'm combining either the first two numbers first, and then whatever that result is, I combine with the third value, or I combine the second and third values first, and whatever value that is, I combine with the first argument. In the most general sense, that's what I'm doing every time. So outside world doesn't need to know about this. It's private. It's static because it doesn't have to do with creating objects. It's going to return an int, and I just called it combine. And I said int num1, int num2. And so whenever I have a problem like this, I can essentially say, there's two, like I said, there's only two ways you could combine. You could go int combo 1, where it would be something like this, where you go combine AB, right, the first two, and then update it to be combine combo 1, which is the result of that first operation, with the third parameter, right? So these two lines here just said, hey, combine the first two numbers in the most efficient way that gives the biggest result, and then combine that with the third parameter in the most efficient way that gives the best result. And when I say that, I'll implement that down here, and we'll see how to get the max value for combining two numbers under the rules that we have. And so, okay, we had this combo 1 that started with the first two parameters, and the only other way to do it right would be to start with the second two, combine those, and then combine that result with A, right? That's it. Those are the only two. So combo 2 is combine B and C, and then you take that result, update it. Combo 2 is equal to combine A with combo 2, right? And so if you want the max result, just return whatever's bigger out of combo 1 and combo 2. Return combo 1 greater than 2. If it is, return combo 1, else combo 2. And you know, I think the math class has a max function, and you could just pass in return math max, if I remember right, and just put combo 1 and combo 2 in there. Same kind of thing going on. All right, so provided this combine method does in fact give us the best results every time, this should work just fine, right? So we'll get on to implementing that. And so when you think about what's at our disposal, we have addition and multiplication only. And at this point, we're only dealing with two numbers, right? We don't have three numbers. We're not worried about where to place parentheses. They don't factor in with only two numbers. You're combining them. There's no parentheses needed. So back to what I said about the identity function multiplying by 1. When you're combining two numbers, realize that if one of the numbers is 1, it doesn't help at all to multiply, right? Because you're left with whatever the other number is. If one of the numbers is a 1, then you should use addition for your operation, right? If it's 1 and 1, you're better off adding them together than multiplying them together, because adding gives you 2, multiplying gives you 1. It's sort of a tie, I guess, with the number 2. Well, that's getting into 2s. Let's just stay with the 1 case. One of these numbers is a 1. So if num1 equals 1, and remember the or num2 equals 1. In this case, the idea is that you add them, right? Because 5 times 1 is less than 5 plus 1. And that'll hold for any of those values within the defined range we had. Remember they said between 1 and 10. Between 1 and 10. So that's a very important note. Return num1 plus num2, right? And in any other case where the numbers, neither one of them is a 1, they're both something else between 2 and 10, you're always going to get the max result by multiplying them. And back to what I had started saying before I stopped myself earlier, you could imagine 2 and 2 is a case where multiplying them and adding them is the same result. 2 plus 2 is 4, and 2 times 2 is 4. But it doesn't, that fact doesn't hurt us doing this, right? So it's fine. If we get 2 and 2 and we multiply them, it's not like we missed anything by not adding them. And then it only gets worse from there, right? Consider 3 and 3. 3 plus 3 is 6, but 3 times 3 is 9. So this should cover us. This should always give us the maximum value for combining two numbers under the rules that we have with addition and multiplication. So yeah, let's go ahead and run. We don't need happy coding. Let's see what that gets. We're thinking good, all green. I like it. We'll hit the other tests. Nice. All right, we passed. Yeah, not too bad, right? You just got to think about it a bit and always try to simplify the scenario as much as you can. You know, that's what I was trying to do here. I imagine there'll be some variation in the solutions we see. So I'll go ahead and submit this. We can take a quick peek at those. So, enter a result. Okay, so they made an array of all the possible ways to combine, right? And then just use this max function on the array, and it would iterate over all of these and get the highest value and return that. That's cool. Yeah, same kind of thing going on here. Far max, mid value. So they're just sort of updating one at a time, so they don't have to iterate over the collection. This was that math max function that I was telling you about that we could have used instead of the ternary operator. So they're just going through each possible permutation. Yeah, it looks like they have them all straight adding. Yeah, go through all the combinations, update the max value each time, whatever you're left with at the end, just return it. So yeah, a little bit of same general idea between a lot of these. Different, a little bit different than what I did though. So yeah, hit me up with questions. If you have some other kinds of solutions, I'd love to see those too. And then otherwise, I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.